seconds to come up with this. I saw this sequence, it was the only sequence, and now you gotta ask yourself, what does white want? White in this position wants to castle and advance the pawns, probably. I want to stop that from happening. So how do you stop your opponent from castling? You can bribe them. You can also create threats against their position and improve yours. Rook c8's a great move. Rook c8, fantastic move. It's the best move in the position. The rook targets the queen. And I'm also threatening knight takes pawn, because it's defended by my bishop, so when I take, I would have discovered attack on the queen, which means the queen has to move, and it does move. And now's the final moment. White's next move is this move castle. How do I stop that from happening? It's not easy. It's not easy to stop that from happening. I only have one way to do it. It's to move e5. Why does this move stop white from castling? Well, white has to acknowledge this. White can't just lose a pawn. If white takes, white ends up with a gigantic weakness, an isolated pawn, not a queen's pawn, just an isolated pawn with no neighbors, directly in the line of sight of my rook, of my queen, right, of my bishop, maybe. And if white goes here, which looks like everything is completely fine, I actually have an incredible move here, which I missed. I played the second best move. I could have just jumped directly into the middle, exposing the fact that, again, white has not castled. And after pawn takes, I have rook e8 ideas. So this would have been, you know, really, really nice. But I didn't do that. Instead, I went here, which I thought was equally strong, because now the center is going to clear out. He took my knight. I took the knight. Take, castle. Here I was like, well, I'm just better. Why am I better? This pawn's weak. What should I be careful about? Probably, yeah, the rook and the queen checkmating me. This bishop is also better than that knight because there's weaknesses over there. But it's still a game. You know, you still have to play accurately. I played this move h5 here, trying to take some space on the queen side, also making sure, queen side, king side, making sure that my king is always safe. But over the next few moves, you know, my opponent, you know, he came up with a very nice idea, put his knight in the middle like this, and he was just giving me the pawn on b2. And I was like, it's a free pawn. And here I can give a check and play like this. So now I have an extra pawn. Does white's position look very nice? For sure. White knight looks strong, queen and rook look good. But if you really ask yourself, does white have any threats? The answer to the question is no. White doesn't have any threats. Not a single threat. There's no threats. Okay, now there's a threat. Now there are officially 0 threats. Everything is protected. The knight cannot check me. If anything, I'll also put my king on g7. I'll cover f6. The only real question becomes, how do I win the game? Not so simple. If I start moving pawns in front of my king as a necessary evil, right, to trade, I might weaken my king. Now here my opponent infiltrates, and here I again came up with a very nice defensive idea, rook to f6. Sacrificing my rook against this knight, and I'm going to win this one back. And again, the more pieces that get traded, white doesn't have any attack. He goes back, and here I win here. But of course, it wouldn't be a Gotham game unless there was a throw. And I know that's negative self-talk, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. It was a miracle I didn't throw the first game. This game, I did something beyond idiotic. Here I played the move b5. I thought this was a very easy game. a5, b4, I just advanced. My opponent got desperate and played the move g4. And if you look at this position, you think, well, you can take and probably go here. You can also just shut it down. You don't have to take. Right, of course. This move loses all of the advantage. You know, I played bishop d4, and my idea was I can take the knight and then take the pawn. I just spaced out on the fact that my opponent can take my pawn, and that's what he did, and now I'm not even better.